what's up everyone? Welcome back to another video. Thank you so much for tuning in. Today I'm continuing along with some of my spring decor pieces that I'm doing. These are going to be my front door wreaths or hangers that I'm going to put on my two front doors. They match every season when I decorate. For the winter I had this pretty minimal Christmas decor, and these were the two pieces that I had on my two front doors before. And I'm just going to transform these pieces for spring. For this one, I'm just going to glue on one big paper flower for this one. Since I had the same idea here, I'm just going to continue that here. And these are the cutouts that I made on my Cricut in order to create this paper flower. I'm kind of improvising with it, but this was the flower. I used an 11.5-inch width flower, and then I had the center removed. I could have had the Cricut cut it out for me, but I didn't know exactly what I wanted to do, so the center was in. I cut it myself, and then I cut a slit here. So what I'm going to do is attach it like this to kind of create that indentation here. And my plan is to curl the edges back so that it kind of creates that flowered look. And the idea is it's supposed to sit like this. So the center piece that I cut out, I'm planning on gluing this to this. And then this one is 11.5, and then I just went down the line and printed out every size lower. So the 10.5, 9.5, 8.5, all the way down to 1.5. And I'm going to insert all of these pieces into the flower. So here I am working on the 10.5-inch flower, just gluing that in place the same way I did the first one, and I'm putting the petals in between the petals of the one underneath it, so it still gives it that look of a real flower. And as I was putting this project together, I wanted to give up, and because it wasn't looking like anything, but the more I kept going, I was seeing it coming together. So I was getting a little discouraged, but as you see here, it's starting to look like a little something. And then when I start to bend the little petals, it definitely comes together a little bit more. And here I'm pulling up the tabs and making it look even more lifelike. And the way it looks on the door looks even better because from far away it has an even more lifelike look to it. So I wasn't too upset. I really liked it at this point. And then I wanted it to match the other one, so I took some of the gold pieces and just glued those right into the center. And that is what I plan on having here. And hopefully the little green part sticks out around the outside edge. And that's going to be for one door. And then for this one, all I'm going to do is cover this. I had a leftover piece of gray felt, so I'm using that to cover this flower here, making sure not to glue any bits of the felted flower underneath, because I think I want to use this again, not sure, but I don't want to damage it in any way. So I'm just being very careful to tuck those little edges in and then lay down this gray felt. And then I'm going to put some paper flowers that the same ones that I used in a previous video on my mantle, on my flower tree. If you didn't see that video, I'll link it below just in case you want to check it out. Let that greenery show, and then I'll of course have these here. And here I'm just doing a really quick paper flower demonstration using this little DIY craft tool. I think it's a quilling tool. I call it a twirler, but it helps me to create these paper flowers here, and I'm just giving you a little bit of that footage. Again, that other video is linked below if you want to see how I put together this tool and how I use paper flowers on another project. And I'm going to put a big one here. And then maybe a few small ones around. was happy with these 4 flowers here, so I'm just cutting off that extra piece of gray felt that was peeking out on the bottom. And then I think I'm gonna also add my Dollar Tree welcome sign, hang it with some clear thread so it looks like it's just floating. I used this chalk marker to paint over the welcome sign to make it white. I didn't want it to be silver. I wanted it to kind of stand out against the door. So I thought this would be good coverage just to color it in. But I ended up not really liking the way it looked covered. I didn't want it to be completely covered with white. I wanted the silver to kind of show through. But this showed through a little too much. But since I started, I completed the whole word with this chalk marker. And then I ended up using white chalk paint, and I lightly went over this with the white chalk paint over on top of the chalk marker, and the look was a little bit more what I liked. So I did it just really quick, just brushed it across, and that was it. And here I'm using the clear thread to hang the sign on the embroidery hoop. So I made a long loop across the inside the E, and then I hung one piece on the W, and I'm just attaching that thread right in between the 2 hoops. And then here I'm just making it even, and I'm trying to show here how the thread is going through the 2 hoops and it's holding on with the W, and here I'm showing it there. And then I'm just reinforcing it with some hot glue, and this is how it looks before I hang it up. So those were my front door spring decor DIYs using paper flowers, and I like to share how I spread one theme across different decor pieces. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.